can I tune into you and send a clearing so we can talk about bigger things?
Yes.
How are you feeling?
Good.
All right. What kind of stuff did you want to go into today?
I wanted to go into especially about the reprogramming my DNA and see if there's any psychic abilities to awaken, and as well a little bit into the topic of like my life purpose because I'm feeling a little lost at the moment where to go, but really as well about what are my unique gifts I have to share with the world. And depending on how much we have time, I have other different questions, but that's like the main thing I would say. As well, I would, if there's time, like to see like about my creativity, because sometimes I feel like as if my creativity is blocked to a certain extent. And yeah, besides that, I have other questions, but I'm not sure if I should ask all them now. I just have them written down if we have more time later. And yeah.
Sure. If you want, you can touch upon them so I can write them down, and then we can go into them. And
Okay.
if you feel like stop me and go in more into detail and something, feel free to.
Yeah, like I mean, connected as well. I really curious because I feel sometimes I struggled to listen like well to my like guides or my spiritual entourage, and as well my third eye. I always had a hard time seeing things clearly in my mind's eye, as well as like visualization. So like as well about my third eye. And yeah, then there's a few other things like past life skills I would be interested to know. And as well, like my dream body, I started now to dream more often and remember my dreams, but I feel like a lot of times they're like very dense and like, I don't know if negative, but like, yeah, like dense. And I feel like there are some blockages towards my dream body. And yeah, and besides that, I mean, healing ancestral trauma, and which is like, I know that there's ancestral trauma in my lineage for sure, which I'm already working on releasing since some time. So, yeah, pretty much that. And basically, beyond that, if then there's any like suggestions you have how I can practice my unique gifts or like advices towards like practices to really help me to empower myself more through cultivating those things. And yeah, besides that, I'd be interested as well in how's my sexual body, but I don't know if that's like too much for the whole session. So that's why I like where I started, like that are the most like, yeah, things what are like more priority. But that's pretty much like, well, I would like to be more in touch with my intuition and psychic abilities. I feel like part of my mission or purpose has to do with healing and helping other people, but I feel that first I need to, yeah, like be in a different space by myself. Um so yeah, my goal is I want to make a meaningful contribution to bringing back the balance here on earth, and see and figure out in what way I can be the best of support to humanity and the planet to awaken and live in a state of truth and love and live in that vibration by myself.
Nice. Okay. Cool. I'm gonna ask you some questions. How happy would you say you are from 1 to 10? 10 being ecstatically happy and joy all the time. 10 being the top.
The first number what comes to me is like 4.
Okay. So 4 on average. And does it go up and down too?
Yeah, it does. Like maybe like I feel quite like calm and good, but I'd like to feel more happy and fulfilled, and I feel that has to do with me and knowing my place in this world and what I share and what I do. So um yeah, like in the past it has been a lot of times more down, but now, yeah, that was just the first number that came to me. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll ask you some more questions, then I'll go back and work on all these. Okay. How much do you love yourself from one to
Should
10?
I answer that in numbers too?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's go all
The
these.
first thing that comes is 7.
All right. How are your dreams? What kind of things do you dream about? Do you remember your dreams? Are like 10 being like, oh yeah, they're awesome.
Uh,
Nightmares in a low.
no, I would say like maybe 2. Like usually, like I don't know, there's still like patterns I feel from my past times where like sometimes like drama or conflicts or yeah, like usually like I don't have these dreams where I wake up and we're like, oh, this was like an amazing dream, like creative and expansive and inspiring. Like it's very rare that I have these kind of dreams. Mostly they are like more like dense or sometimes related to police or paranoia or like conflicts with friends or sometimes about sex, but they stop before I actually have sex. And
Yeah, all right. That's
yeah.
I've heard that from a lot of people. Okay. It's like an emotional generation too. Okay. So how do you remember your dreams often though?
Um, yeah, now it's like, I don't know, like 2, 3 times a week, maybe sometimes once a week. And that's quite a lot more than like if I would go like a few months back, like I would remember my dreams like sometimes once a month or something like this. So it has been increasing. But yeah, something like that, maybe twice a week. Like if I in the last months, like twice a week. But all the years before, like a lot of times, I would like have months where I don't remember my dreams. So like I come from a place where I don't remember my dreams for like a long time.
Okay. Uh, in your mind, from out of 100%, some of them are going to be neutral, so they'll be excluded. Uh, how many of your thoughts out of 100% throughout the day on average are negative? It doesn't have to be perfect. It's like whatever your estimate.
Um, I don't know. Like the first thing that came to me is like maybe around 20%. Um, yeah, like it depends because I'm going through these transitions and places, but when I'm more in nature, actually, I don't feel that I have so much negative thoughts anymore. Since I did like some work with a plant 3 months ago, like which helped me a lot. So since then, like I don't have so much negative thoughts, and I think sometimes when I had negative thoughts, it's related to when I encounter like different spirits or different other entities. But yeah.
Okay, interesting. Okay, what kind of spirits you encounter?
Well, at my mother's place, I feel that there's like a lot of, and where I left, I feel that there's a lot of like dense energies and like spirits of like conflict. But yeah, there has been some things opening in me, but I'm still not very clear about the perception. But when I have like a lot of like compulsive, like negative thoughts, I sometimes start to feel as if they would not like just come from within because when I'm out in nature and other places, I don't have this kind of so much negative thoughts anymore and able to like go out of it like quite quickly or like catch myself. So yeah.
Okay. How's your energy levels throughout the day on average? 10 being like full of coffee without any coffee and rearing to go.
Yeah, I would say like 7, 8.
Okay. And what's your downs and your highs?
Um, I'm not sure. Like, should I answer the numbers as well?
Yeah, like low point that you if you experience those, and then your highest.
Yeah, like I haven't experienced like so much low points lately. Like if I go low, I feel I don't go like lower than like a 4 or 3, and to the higher, like, yeah, I don't know if like I would say that I reach a 10, but like 8, 9, like.
Mm. Okay. Okay. So on the emotional roller coaster of life, on the downs, what kind of negative emotions do you find yourself experiencing? And list the ones you experience the most often first, and then go for whatever you can remember, like sadness, anger, anxiety, stress, frustration, overwhelm,
Like
fear, shame, all that kind of stuff.
through my whole life, or just like at the
Uh,
current?
like that's keep like that are keeps happening like to the now, like more so now. Like if you stopped feeling it, then it's not as much as a problem.
Okay. Well, what I like emotionally, I feel quite good since I did this work with this one plant. So like since a few months, like there has been like a lot of like deep changes. So I feel the emotions what sometimes I've been feeling this like emotion of like feeling like kind of like lost, or like just like lack of inspiration. I don't know if that's like a proper like emotion, but like lack of inspiration, and um yeah, feeling like lost, and as well at times like frustration. So this is more about the negative emotions, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So, and yeah, some sadness as well, and a little bit of fear at times as well, to not sure how to make all these big changes I want to do in my life. Um, but overall, I would say that emotionally I have been quite more balanced, and like actually like feeling quite calm and centered. But yeah, that's pretty much what has
Okay.
been like more present now. Like I mean, in the past I experienced like a lot of anger, but I haven't like sometimes like, I mean, anger has been like a main thing, but it hasn't been so present anymore, or just in some moments. But yeah.
Okay. And in envisioning your greatest self, what kind of qualities are you striving for? Like, what do you visualize yourself like in knowing the blocks that you're having? It would usually go with the opposite. Like, if you have sadness, then happy all the time, or like so.
Yeah, like well-being, joy, humility, integrity, um standing in my power, and sharing sharing my light with the world, but at the core really like well-being, joy, calmness, humility, integrity, based on core values of like truth and freedom and love.
Okay. Nice, thank you. Okay, how old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 28.
Okay. And when did you awaken? Around the point when it started? What age?
Like 24, that was like my first. Yeah, 24 was like the big like wake up. Yeah. And now a few months ago, like I feel there was like another major shift. Like, yeah, it's a journey, as you know.
Okay, so let's see. Deep program DNA and other stuff. So are you wanting which? So reprogram DNA psychic abilities. Making it so that you feel happy because I feel happiness on your heart, and a lot of the other stuff. Which one did you want to go into first?
Maybe the psychic abilities.
Oh, fun. All right, so some of them I'm allowed to say right now, and then some require stuff me getting rid of. So I'll also go into your targeting and what you need to get rid of those things. Um, or I'll do a lot of it for you and get rid of those things. Okay. So let's see here. Have you felt targeted at all, by the way, since you're especially since awakening?
Mm, I'm not sure, to be honest. Like, since like a few months ago, I did like this big cleaning work. Actually, I have been feeling for the first time like getting to know truly myself. But in the past, I realized that there was like a lot of like spirits and different things on me and with me. So I think I could say yes.
All right, yeah. All right, so I'm gonna track some things back that attach and are going after abilities, and then I'm gonna increase camouflage. Okay, when does this happen? And we'll have to say, oh, okay. When did you get this ability? Okay, age 9. Okay, so this will kind of like go into I'm getting rid of targeting. Okay, so age 9 is you coming out of the age of innocence, you getting the weight of who you are on your shoulders, from your guides, guardians, ancestors, ancient off-world ancestors, many soul family, all that. Your beacon comes on. We're all in like witness protection when we're incarnating. In it's there's a lot of things trying to figure out who people are, and mostly they can just figure out their DNA and some at different energy emissions. They can't quite figure out everyone in soul. So you start getting that weight put on you from your guides. They held it up before to protect you, and as that happens, you get abilities start to activate, and then that can attract attention if it's not fully camouflaged. So we'll be going into yeah. So one of your abilities that's come online that I'm allowed to talk about, and then we're gonna layer it up like foundational strength, and so each one of these abilities will be things you fully activated as savant, in which you've earned it in past lives. And you do it really well, even if you don't know about it. So your higher self does stuff. You know about the higher self, right?
Yeah.
Your big ghost aspect of yourself does chess moves around the planet. Uh, just anchored here. You know, everyone around the planet has this kind of thing, has various levels. Ooh. Okay. For what? Uh, external. Ooh. Okay. And how big? And it applies to one more. Ooh, okay, management tech. That's good. Okay. Like keeping things together. And that would apply to you both. Your soul, your higher self, and your source is now operating it. You can apply it to more, of course. Your soul the soul is fairly limited in most people from expansion, but as you uh, heal it and recover it, it will get better and stronger and bigger and have more impact. It's very powerful. Uh, then your higher self at the moment. Where is your general location? You don't have to say everything, like country or whatever you want to feel
I,
comfortable.
Now I'm in Portugal, but I have been like traveling a lot for the last like 6 years, so I don't really like have fixed location.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's whatever. So your management body tech for your higher self and source seem to be applied to the area you're in country size, and it shifts to wherever you are. So that's a lot of skills in there. So it's like piecing everything together, getting things running right, correcting things, maintenance, maintaining. Yeah, that's a good ability for your higher self advancement. So then I'd definitely go into higher self magic with yourself and your source connection and go deeper with it. Rudimentary magic for anyone out there. If you want your higher self and your source to do something, you form a relationship with it, heart connection, love, start communicating it with it, walkie talkie, receptive, projective, or receiving messages if it comes in as a thought. Uh, your your thoughts will respond to you if you give them enough time and reception. Though then the art is figuring out if it is your higher self, your source, or your ego getting in the way, and then the attachment externally would come in through the ego or the shadow to like mess with you. So that's the thing of discernment. So being able to heal the shadow and the ego and goes more into ability to truth, but don't get yourself down or keep yourself from going further with trying to communicate with them just because things might fuck with it. And every time it exposes itself and deception has gone through and you get deeper and more pure and even though it want to wound you like, oh, I don't know what's true. Just keep going, essentially. And with the magic, you can like, hey, higher self, can you get on that? And you just have it in your mind or say it out loud and make a neurolinguistic programming switch and knob, like snapping your fingers and setting it in motion as a command for a program you want to set in place that it amplifies and you amplify your higher self or source to do its job by doing what you're doing, expending energy, doing some type of action you love, running, singing, dancing, working out, drawing, all kinds of stuff that you could be doing that you like in using energy to put that energy towards that intention. And then watch it get done. And you can monitor it like 1 to 100 or like completion and ask how much time it takes. And like, oh, how much time would it take to resolve all the targeting coming from external in my house? Okay, an hour. Okay, what if I work out to it? Oh shit, 10 minutes. Yeah. So you got management. So that's wonderful. That's being targeted at age 9. So I'm working on the abilities that are getting targeted. So it also gets rid of your targeting. So we're gonna put camouflage around that. A big bubble of nothing to see here, just a friendly old muggle. I don't know anything. It's weird. Why would you target me? There's nothing to target here. Um, and then sending that back in time around however big the ability needs it to be. This one needs it to be the size of the galaxy, it looks like, which is a powerful indication of who you are a little bit more. And then I can go into history. Oh, where did you get that ability? Because not everyone has that. Okay, it goes back on Earth. It goes back to past lives. Okay. Ooh, Egypt. All right. Yeah. Okay. And then I'm looking at dynasties. Okay, and then what are you doing? Okay, you're in a noble family, and you get a lot of shit done, and so you're exhibiting a lot of management tech to keep things flowing in optimal situation. And then I'm looking at the time period and the ups and the downs and the collapse in civilizations and okay, how's it doing then? Okay, it was doing bad before you came in. I would say, let's say 5 is neutral above the water kind of thing, like like if below is kind of like drowning in chaos type of thing. So it'd be so it was a 3 out of 10. So the 5 being neutral, and yeah. So it was pretty bad before you came in. Then you got you're already in a notable family, and you got called up, and it's like you're being promoted upward, and then you're working up your way up the class system uh, by what you do and what you know. And you got it from a okay, let me just like account for your team and other people involved in making things better. How much percentage is you? Ooh, you did a lot. All right. Okay, you got it. Okay, you got it up to a 9 in flourishment in the empire during that time. You did, I'd say an 8 out of that 9. So then what also came in is what you hired. So that's really good management. What do you do for a career?
I don't really have a career.
Oh shit. Well, do you feel like you could run your own business?
Um, yeah, I feel I could. I just don't really know what.
I believe you should. There's a lot of different courses, some cheap. I'd recommend looking up when you're getting into a positive, happy state in meditation, and then listening to audio books or YouTube videos on inspiration on how to make money quick and then form it into a business. And then you can like go around seeing different things that work well and things you could see yourself doing and building your empire, because you'd be able to manage things really well. And then you could, after you get a certain amount of income, then you can hire assistants, and then you can have them skilled to run those lower parts of your job, and then you can work up, make more parts of the business, and then have those managed, and then you keep making it stronger. I believe you'd be very good at it with the mind that you have.
Do you have any specific recommendations on what kind of like books to read about this?
What is a career? Okay, so part of it will be something that you're passionate about and then you love to do, because that keeps you motivated, though motivation is up to influence and targeting from external forces. So you want to also have like 50% of it dedication and discipline, and you work on that even if you feel bad that you're still able to do it. Which is training that like I do at the gym, and you creating the dopamine neural pathways in your brain by doing something over and over again until your brain realizes it, and it's for survival, and then rewards you for doing it with dopamine. Um, what do you love to do? What are your passions so far? And then that make part of it, and then another part of it would probably based on how much income it would bring you in and how favorable it's been for other people, and that would be a research method. And I'm looking to a lot of things, so suggesting any one course, I'm not really into sponsoring other people at the moment, but I'll put it up in videos if I have gone over something enough to where like, yeah, this is key. But as for the discipline aspect, try to look into as many as possible, and it doesn't necessarily have to be something you're passionate about.
Okay.
So what are you passionate about?
Um, well, I love nature and healing and transformation. I love rituals. So everything that has to do kind of with magic, connection, transformation. Um, yeah, that is the main things. Like for a long time in my life, I really struggled to like feel passionate about things. So I grew up never feeling that I really had like real hobbies and stuff. So I don't know if there's something tied to that, and that what I was asking at the beginning, like connected to my creativity, like yeah. But yeah, that's the things I love.
Yeah, I'll go into creativity next. Um, okay, so passion, motivation spurs out of both the sacral and the solar plexus. Solar plexus more towards power, drive, will, motivation, and passion is one of the emotions that you can generate in your sacral if it's working well. Joy is usually an indication if your sacral is working really well, and if it's like down, then that, or bored, or lustful, or shame, or all that will usually mean there's an incursion. So as you purify those points at their core and force and push everything away and purify in various methods that you'd learn, it gets better and better. And then it would supply you with the emotions that you need to propel you forward. I'd start with the solar plexus first because that is needed to then generate and turn on the positive emotions. So that's around your stomach area. And so you got to purify that. That's also where the soul, the ego, the will, the power, the most of the power center that, and then control center, and then everything else comes out of that. So your sun needs to shine on to all of your other systems in order to have them all flow into what they need to become. So if your thing is healing, magic, nature, then I would suggest looking into looking around to people that are in that career and seeing what they're doing and what they're doing to be successful and how they're making money, and then start making that yourself. Like I do that. So I have a website, a YouTube, I advertise, I do sacred trips. Like we're now going to do a big sacred trip to Egypt to activate people's superhuman love and superpowers and unite with the gods and a bunch of other stuff. So that is a good avenue if you're going to plan tours. You could also go into events and speaking, hold workshops, ceremonies. It's like cacao ceremonies, going to collaborating with other spiritual people in groups and get things going. If you meet your team and your soul tribe, that makes it easier. So like going to workshops yourself and getting the vibe and the understanding of what they do and what they do in the business, so that you can start mimicking it, and then learn how to do it yourself. Learn a bunch of abilities and things of value for people, so that you can bring them something in from them that they want, and they're willing to give you their value in exchange for it. And then you can make a bunch of side hustles involved in that slowly build up until the main thing you want to do. While then your side hustles then go to things that you're less passionate about, but they're also making you income. Okay. Yeah. So, and there's free way, kind of like hints on how to do all the steps of that, just by centering in meditation and asking certain questions about your career and what you should do next and what do you need next to reach your goal once you painted the picture of it, and then defining all the steps involved to get there, and then writing lists and keeping a journal about it. And then as you write, you wrote yourself into this reality, so you can write yourself into the new one you want to be in. So then you'll start programming what it becomes with your projects and each of the things with magic or healing. Like I have a journal glued to my hip wherever I go. I just write at the top, like section, like healing, or the next stage, magic, and I just write everything that comes to me in that 90% memory retention. And you never really get depressed anymore, because the things to get depressed about kind of cease. And you can write a book at any point, which is another avenue. And there's audio book stuff, little articles and blogs, and you can hold interviews. You can. I started by doing healings for free, with allowing donation, and then once word spread around, I had to get enough. I had enough people coming in where I like, I can't do this free anymore, and then got up there. And you can get a bunch of skills, like I got Reiki Master, cranial sacral therapy, massage certified, and there's a bunch of things you can learn. But there's a lot of abilities in your heart, in healing abilities, that are either been destroyed through time, in like went extinct in the lineage, not passing down the knowledge, or maybe even from another planet or past life, or just wisdom that you have in your soul that hasn't come into birth in this world yet. I tune into healing methods all the time that nobody's doing. So a lot of that is going inward to your heart and letting go of all things. And as you go deep in your heart, there's like weird layers of limitation and distraction and ego that, like, oh, they're not falling for the songs and the weird thoughts anymore. We're gonna start throwing wisdom at you, and then as you go deeper, you're gonna get distracted with wisdom, and some of the thoughts that come in are, oh, that's actually a real good idea, and you write that down. It's like if you want to, you can write it down, or you can just keep going deeper, and there's more wisdom as you go deeper. Okay, and creativity. I love creativity. It's one of my favorites. So it emits in the sacral, which is a little bit below the belly button. And it's a very overpowered ability. A lot of things want it. A lot of things want to steal it, limiting it, all that stuff. So as I tune into it with you, I would define your creative force body, or whatever you want to go into, calling it, as pretty not doing too well. So I'd rate it from positive 10, 0, negative 10. Right now it's a negative 9. That means something's trying to steal your creative force and attach to it. Do you want me to help remove those things?
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna start working on that. It's a big, okay, a big entity that's stealing a lot of your creative force, and then, so don't let this freak you out. I'm not going to talk about this. Okay, let me. Okay. I'll like kind of make things censored for. Okay, so yeah, do you feel any of it now? And heaviness?
Yeah, I feel like kind of contraction in my body. And
Okay, so here's a little healing method that I can teach the audience. Pretty, I'll suggesting over and over again. Go ahead and press your. You can be anything you want to press into the center of your palm. I do the ring finger because then I can do other stuff with my other fingers. So yeah, press that in it like you're pressing a button, and that after holding that for 5 minutes, it starts to activate what I call a purification vacuum. We're gonna link it to a version of you that has the tech. A lot of the audience, let's say, the common theme with the audience is there's a version of them going back in higher selves. A lot of people on this earth are really old. So your congratulations, you're at least as old as the galaxy. So then there's a version of you that first immigrated to the galaxy, that set itself up in the center of the galaxy as a management for all other incarnations throughout the galactic game. So that one has portal tech. So you're going to link to that version of your higher self, or whatever, a manager, and it's going to connect a portal to your palm chakra, one-way portal, sucking negative energy away. So it's going to be like a clearing surgical vacuum where you can clear any part of your body of negative energy. You can even upgrade it to level where it can suck psychic parasites and demons and stuff away. It does get clogged. There is a difference of how it feels when it's off versus when it's on and clogged. If it gets clogged, you'll feel it. It's gonna, if you keep trying to suck things up with it while it's clogged, it's gonna feel like a little tingling, restless arm syndrome, pins and needles if you captured something big, and like pain if it captured like a entity or something, and it's like, and it's trying to stop from getting sucked up. To unclog it, you just press in the button and give it a break from sucking up stuff. Or you can hold it under really hot or cold water for 33 seconds, or hold ice for 10 seconds, and that'll clear it pretty quickly. Yeah. So then I'd recommend, after holding it, putting it on the front and back of your sacral, which is a little bit below your belly button, and holding that while we're talking. Some of the big, I'd recommend starting with that, because that gets rid of a lot of the targeting on you. In your sacral is like 70% of your targeting where it's going towards, which means you have a lot of power there if you're targeted in any particular area, because they have motivation to go after it. Probably rare. So attached to it right now, we're shrinking down and helping capture and getting rid of why it's there to begin with. So I'm like going to ask it questions while doing that. Why is it going after your sacral? It lacks a bunch of things that's going after. It's targeting like 10 bodies and some rare tech. It's lacking those things and then I'm going into interviewing this being. It does. It is stealing your sacral to try to out chess move you and remain attached to you. So it's like creating a bunch of chess moves to stay ahead of you. Don't let that freak you out. Most of it can be shrunk down because it's a parasite. The dark don't earn, usually they don't earn their own tech. So they steal it. So then you can pull that rug out from under them. So don't let that freak you out that it's trying to out chess move you. It's just anytime that happens in the future, clear your sacral, and a lot of things will detach and lower in power. It's not. Ooh, okay. Yeah, you can feel it now, can't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. It's a powerful being, which then tells me more about you. I gotta so I first ask if I'm allowed to say these things. Okay. Should I say any of that? Okay. What can I tell them? Alright, and this has to do with, well, the main thing that's being targeted is Kundalini tech, which isn't, a lot of people define it wrongly. It's not just having to do with serpent. That's the way of describing it, going up the spine and then activating. And there's like a whole metaphor with the sun shining down on, from you first, you got to get the solar plexus active. It shines down on the soil of the root chakra like spring, the dormant serpent that's in the egg, which there's a bunch of different types of seeds and eggs in the root chakra for unfoldment of energy that would go up the spine to come out of its dormancy, and then you got to entice it and get rid of the blocks as it comes up, which then empower a bunch of things like brain power, capacity, intelligence, psychic energy, ability to feel, fuck tons of energy. There's a lot of things you can do with it, and there's multiple forces. So you got to rare one of these forces, and it's going after that, and then it's trying to steal from a bunch of other tech to like keep itself going attached to you. And it's a rare being. It's a big predator that goes after powerful beings. So then that gives you a hint more about yourself, which I'm not allowed to tell on public because I don't want you targeted for that more. Go ahead. You're saying.
Yeah, so basically the two main things you were sharing with me is to shine my solar plexus chakra down on my two lower chakras, and
Yeah,
then
the power, get
and
that
then
going strong. Yeah.
and then The other one to purify my sacral is holding a finger in my hand, pressing for 5 minutes. And how was it then? And with my intention of my mind, I connected with my sacral to purify it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Get your power online first. I'd recommend developing a meditation where you purify the solar plexus. This is how I do this every day, and I get on cloud nine bliss. I don't want to really say all of it publicly, but I'm giving you a little bit of the hints that you can play around with. But you got this thing, and then you can give the solar plexus love and support and making it feel good. The secret to generators and power and making those turn on your body is when they feel threatened, they automatically shut down and secure themselves, and they don't generate power. When they feel safe, they open up and they start generating more and more power. So the more safe you get the power in your body to feel and the emotions, the more you're going to produce. So yeah. And then so you hold that solar plexus until it's a bright shining star, and you can use all kinds of scaling systems to monitor how bright it can get. But you want to go especially with how you feel, and work towards getting that where you can produce fuck tons of energy as if you're on coffee, because things will mess with your monitoring sometimes. So you want to do it based on how you feel and success. And I have gotten it to where it's raging to the point where I work out for 10 hours, and it's crazy. But yeah. And then of course power and emotions and the sacral are very targeted. You got 10 bodies in your sacral that are being targeted, which are also powerful. I can say two publicly.
Yeah, I wasn't aware of that. There was so many things you couldn't tell me if I booked this kind of session that's public. I thought,
Yeah, it's fine. We can do a different session. I can tell you a lot more. Yeah, definitely your sexual and your dreaming body. So you're the ones we're allowed to go into your creative force body, your dreaming, your sexual body. So okay, so I'm working on getting rid of the attachment and parasites, and when they came in, a lot of them came in when you're awakening, and then towards the beginning of your life, after age 9, but especially around when you went into puberty, which is also like trying to control how you grow up and how you form, and then harvesting all the abundant energy at that time. A lot of it's going back to like similar factions of beings. And then what's that one? So your family. Okay. Yeah, and like most of my family is asleep, so like is that the same with yours?
yeah,
Okay. Mm.
all of it actually.
You have an Oni targeting you. That's rare. Okay, that's a Japanese like demon type of thing. Um, why? Else was it? How'd you get that? Oh, you have its DNA. Okay, great. So you have that DNA, which um, humanity is like a super hybrid of overpowered light and dark DNA expressions, and they both have value. The dark, I'd recommend quarantining it and keeping a constant loving, detaching kind of emission from your heartbeat that compresses it down and doesn't let it take over you. But then as you quarantine it, then you can look at it and then see the different values it has. Like it's the species' original purpose before they got like more so targeted and they had to hold up a big weight, and then they became overwhelmed with evil coming in and invading this world. Um, like resilience, and they have an overpowered like astral presence, so there's like tech with that, though. Again, you want to purify anything that comes from that, because they would have a chess move to change you while you're like integrating that. But it's already entered your game, so you're as you resolve it out of your field, and I'm going to help you capture the ones that know about you and get them out, come to peace with you. Then you're going to gain a bunch of immunity and tech that they would be overpowered in without like any of the consequences of getting it from them, because they already like, it's like when like an initiation into magic, when curses fly upon you, you automatically get like immunity to curses increasing kind of thing. Okay, so more abilities. As we're decreasing the creative force, predators, and attachment to your sacral, and yeah, I don't need to go more into that. And two more abilities opened up that I'm allowed to talk about, which also two that activated around your awakening point. 1, 2, 3. Ooh. Yeah, one's I'm allowed to talk about in your sacral. What is this? Programming. Programming what? What aspect? And a lot of it is that activated currently. And does it go outward? Yes. So a lot of it's for programming the body. So you have the talent of it. So you can make it fairly simplistic, like initiating a command of programming, and then putting into action. Or as well as you got to get rid of the opposition programming and clearing that. A lot of it's pointing to, first, it recommends you program where most of your body is being programmed, which is like 90% around the gut brain and the things that are being targeted. So once the negative beings anchor into a certain area, mainly the place that they want to target and then stay attached to. So it's like you're compressing and quarantining that down to where it's less and less until all the entity attachment is gone. And then holding back their ability to program you. And then I'd recommend journaling what you see in programs, such as self-defeating programs, like with the shadow, Carl Jung's shadow of self-defeating programs that we're wrestling with every day. And then you can do shadow work, which is to hug, embrace, give them size and scale, and shrink them down, and purify them, turn them into opposite, the self-supporting programs once defined. And you'll get good at, once you know what you're programmed to do that you don't want, then you can start programming the opposite, and you clear out wherever you can find wherever the programs are anchored into, and get that are negative, and get rid of them. Okay, solar plexus. Yeah, so you got that one, and that means you'll be good at doing that in other external factors once you've gotten good at it with your body. So you'll be able to program into the universe later as you've gotten control of the management of your system. Okay, the solar plexus.
Can you just help me quickly again how to with how I deprogram, or how I
So like it's not actually that hard. There's all these different methods that people use online and come up with in their mind. Essentially, the body, like you can see it in practice. The body will react to things in life, in trauma, in fear, in stimulation, and things that would stress you, in overactivity, and that starts programming the body. And with the visualizations, anything you see in your mind and your body will react to it the same way that as if it was physically happening to you. So you can start visualizing things, you can go into neurolinguistic programming, creating switches and knobs for operating systems of your abilities, like programming. Use formats like in the real world of how people program the computer or other systems, and you can make it more simplistic too, like input code initiation, so that you're the only one programming your body, making a window of like an initiation that like makes sure you like a password. It's kind of like that, but it could be movements and word commands and all that to open it up, so that nothing else has your access code to do that for it, and then you limit new programs coming in. And you would want to monitor it and see how well it's working and functioning, and if anything is holding it back, because it's like repairing and putting back together a computer that's been kind of damaged by external attachment. So a lot of it's getting rid of attachment too. So you can see that as like weighted coats on your heart of layers. And the purest version of you, your greatest, purest, most divine, most empowered version of you is deep within your heart already. It already exists in time. And you got to go inward and embrace the infant version of yourself that's already united with the universe. It already has these things you want. You got to let go of everything that's not that and all finite. And then make a system to doing that, like healing or going into relaxation or silence the mind or purifying that area, wherever the bloatware is in your body and like the organs, etc. And you can, I got a course on my site that teaches this more in depth, gives you the controller to accessing the game of your body and the reality. And it's very easy to program, but also you can learn a lot of other abilities and learn how to do what I do on my on the free membership part of my site. The product is called Initiation into the World Game. Recommend getting that if you want to get very, very powerful, very quick, more powerful than anyone else around you very quickly. Yeah, so initiate the world game, if you can write that down for later, and then you will thank me for that. Okay, so the solar flexibility. Ooh, am I allowed to talk about? Yeah, okay. Ooh, rare stuff. I don't see every day. What is this? Oh, and what level? Okay, anything else? Okay, I can talk about this now. Interesting. You have a superpower you earn. Okay, with the programming ability, it looks like you earned it back before this life, before being on Earth, before the solar system. Another. Okay, it is in this galaxy. I need to look at the map real quick. Place. It's above Capricorn. I'm trying to find which. One second, I'm on my phone doing this, so I'm like, trying to find this place you were at that you learned programming. This is not many people have it, are good at it anyway. Okay, found that. It's near the constellation there or somewhere else. Okay, it's not named on the map, but it's near, I'll take a screenshot and I'll send it to you later. Alduramin, what it's called, which is in the constellation Cephas, near Polaris. So you gained programming tech into that lifetime. Oh yeah, you went far with that ability. You were you're programming the whole solar system. So you had a big higher self there too. And, the lower version of you that was gaining a bunch of the tech from the school, amplifying the higher self in a species. Okay, so it's like a type of super flora on the planet, flora fauna kind of thing. How does that work? Okay, so it's like trees and moss and let's see how that, but it's not exact. It's not like the same species at all, and it is where the same consciousness would grow and make a lot of itself all over the place. Let's see how far you expanded. Yeah, pretty big. It's yeah. Well, is it all in just one cluster or multiple? Oh, you sport all over the planet. Which one? And it's kind of it's closer to a fungus, but it's kind of hard to describe. It's you've expanded in territory in that version of you. Like as if you were the whole forest structures of the Brazilian rainforest kind of thing, in size and scale. But then you would also have pockets of yourself all around the place. That's okay. So then you are going into that version of yourself as programming the planet, and then that goes up to a higher self version of you that did that, and it does missions for that place. And a lot of being trained by the planet in what it knows, and then gaining the records and libraries and tech and abilities of that planet is what it's doing. It's pretty high up the mystery school of that planet. And then you took that in. Okay, so that's cool. Okay, so the superpower you got that I'm allowed to talk about. It looks like going in with your heartbeat. So I'd recommend going into that. So a lot of psionic abilities you can build off of your heartbeat, and that makes it easy for meditation because all you got to do is center into your heart and focus on your heartbeat, and all the thoughts and attachment just let go, and you can go into emptiness and into oneness, to like fill up yourself with more of the infinite energy of the universe. Once you've detached and let go of a bunch of like negative emotions, negative programming, you're emptying all that. You define what you're emptying. You don't have to, but you can trust. You can even have faith and trust that you're going to be letting go of things that you no longer serve you. And with the pulse of the heartbeat can go out from, like the science has gone into that. There are emissions from the heart that it takes 7 seconds to travel to the ends of the planet, and there are parts of the energy that rear up for at least 14 seconds before you get in a car crash. So your heart can tell the future, and you can even expand on that too. and then as a super consciousness, your higher self and your source center in it. There's a lot. So with the heartbeat, it's got more going on than just being a pump. There's some scientists that even go into that it's kind of impossible for the heart to just be functioning in fully blood flow with just the pumping action it has. Like there's got to be more going on with it. So the heartbeat, you can see like big bubbles coming off your heart, expanding. With each one of those, you can make constructs and programs coming off of it, and that will be good with your programming and managing ability. So you can, if it has geometry and etheric space, it can hold information memory. So you can amplify what those programs in this memory are of the geometry that are coming off, including fortress, like in making big geometries around you to fortress you to make you feel safe. Camouflage to get rid of things that know about you and send those back in time as well and clear your timeline. Healing, purification, bringing more of your light, letting go of things that are attachment and letting go of the weighted coats so you get more into your purity and light as that shines deeper. For you to be able to embrace your divinity, it requires you to let go of the opposites and the finite in order to shine. As like a turn in your tickets at the arcade to get this prize type of thing. Anything else you wanted to ask before I gotta go?
Yeah, do you think we could go into like about what I asked about my third eye, or if there's any like blocks towards like me being able to like visualize and like having clear.
Yeah, so your daydream aspect, imagination tech is in your sacral. You need a bunch of power to flow into your third eye to get the light to turn on, and you got to get your third eye to feel safe to turn on its own generators. And in the sacral, there's imagination tech and creative tech in visualization that you'd go into generating, so it then goes into the third eye, and you can create easily. You want to form meditations like either laying down or sitting up is better if you have a hard time like with falling asleep in meditation, where you like your spine straight and your knees lower than your hips, like you can sit on a cushion or something, so you can stay there longer. And your goal is to detach from all external senses and go within. And your goal is in the beginning to set up a system that's kind of like turning on the key and the engine and the putting in a gear for a vehicle, where you practice on stuff, where you practice imagining things that are easy. Like there's imagination retrieval or memory retrieval or a bunch of other things that is allowing thoughts, visualizations, daydreams, and memories to come in your mind, so that you kind of get into that weird zone out of the things you shouldn't be zoned in on, and you're zoned into that sense. And then it will start getting more HD and bright and vivid the more you're able to detach from everything else and focus on it. And then once you get those like warm-up visions going, it will bleed over into your other visions. Also, your vision is like conscious and it wants to show you things. So there are certain modes where you're going to be in creative mode, but then there are certain modes where you allow visions to come in and it wants to show you stuff. If it's showing you dumb shit or perverted shit or weird shit, that usually means the third eye's hijacked or has attachment. And then you can clear that to get rid of those attachment, and it will start clearing up and showing you better things. And there will be guides that want to show you visions. You can start talking to the beings that can that visions will come in, and you can track them back to who gave you that vision. You can ask them too, and those are the beings you want to work with because they have an interest in you going into the unseen world, and then they'll empower you more to do that. And there's a lot of blocks through that, and a lot of the time you got to work up from the lower mystery schools to get up there, but this is a method of how to do it. So And we can go into that further, and I can run you through guided meditations in future sessions if you want to like learn it on tap and memorize it. Yeah, really good to meet you. You're a really powerful person. Interesting stuff you got going on, and look forward to seeing you grow and get stronger. And yeah, if you want to have sessions in the future, we can absolutely do that.
Thank
Cool.
you. You don't have like 2 minutes for the last thing that I had on my list, maybe what we didn't got to, like my dream body and my dreams?
Dreaming body is in the sacral chakra. As you clear that, it'll get better. Sacral, gut, brain, the power you flow into the lower dantian for your dreaming body to empower better dreaming. Your ego is also going to be in the solar plexus center. If you're overwhelmed with shit, the ego quarantines it from the rest of your spirit and your soul, trying to protect you. If you're not getting good dreams, it usually means it's overwhelmed, so you got to heal your ego. And not anything on your ego. I deal with this every day. It's actually a survival mechanism. If anything wants to attack you, it has to get through the layer of the ego and the shadow. So I heal it every day. So recommend giving it lots of love and attention and detaching it from external things.
Okay.
And then you'll get more power. Your mind will get silent. When the ego's overwhelmed, it will get chatty in the mind. You get a weight on the heart. You'll get drained of energy. So anytime that happens, heal the ego either by hugging yourself or holding the front and back of the solar plexus and filling it with love.